A company with a market cap of just $150,000 with a stock price at 0.12 cents might be the next 50x stock in 2023. So what do you need to know? Keep watching for the next 10 minutes as we go through recent news as well as my chart analysis and price prediction. But before we do that, subscribe to our channel Stox 101 for regular stock market updates. Icon Media Holdings is a holdings company founded in 1998 with their main focus around technology and infrastructure. Rumors about ICNM acquiring Vigo Inc. ticker MULG has surrounded Twitter. Vigo is another technology company working mainly on logistics in the B2B space, and they are rapidly expanding with 10,000 users in Singapore alone and plans to launch in Indonesia next year. In our opinion, if this deal actually goes through, it won't take a long time to hit millions in market cap and give current holders great returns. With all that in mind, let's analyze the chart. So as you guys can see right here, we're now in the 1-day chart for ICNM, and as always, we'll first analyze the 1-day chart, then the 1-hour chart, and to end it off, we'll get the 5-minute chart. Now right off the bat, when we're analyzing a penny stock, two things matter the most. First one being volume, and the second one being social media volume. What that means is, the number of tweets, the number of posts, the number of videos being made about a specific stock. And now, that of course will be my first point to talk about. Right, if you go on Twitter right now and search ICNM, you will be able to find a lot of latest tweets, and that of course indicates that yes, people are aware about ICNM and they are, kind of observing it carefully. Now, if you look over here, we can see that the market cap is only 133,000, with the volume over here being 28 million shares traded, right? Which, well, if we multiply it, let me get my, calculator real quick. Of course, you won't be able to see it, but I'll let you know. Um, yeah, so that pretty much amounts to about $33,000 in volume, which of course is definitely not a lot, right? A single person can contribute that much to volume. And of course, if we look at the last time that it pumped, we can see that over here in 2021 was the real pump when, of course, rumors were spread the same way that they are now about an acquisition of, well, I forgot the company name. I'm sorry for that. But of course, we can see that if something was like this, right, if something like this was to happen right now, we could very well take this to a million in valuation. And that, of course, would give you guys like, an easy 7x or 8x return, of course. And, when you consider the fact that the company is really so small and it won't take a huge community to kind of take the stock up, that definitely is a good factor. Now, the second factor, of course, in my opinion, penny stocks, once they start appearing in Yahoo Finance's active stocks list as well, that really makes a difference. And I did find ICNM when I was browsing that list, right, in the most active penny stocks section. I did find this. And, of course, these things make up the gist of a penny stock, right? These things make up the entirety of where a penny stock is headed. And of course, if we talk about this stock, we can see that it's really, really volatile. It went up, if it's about to go up, it will go up like 25%, 30%. Like we can see, it went up by 33% over here on Friday's trading session. And of course, if it were to go down 24%, 25%, these are some easy moves, right? So if you're a small trader with, let's say, $100, few $100, $1,000, right, you might be able to. Now, of course, this is not financial advice, but if I were a small trader right now, I could easily use a few $100 and, of course, play my way around these games, right? These are pretty much games, you just have to play them around, right? That's at least my opinion of them. And of course, we can see that there were a lot of trends that we could have caught over here. So the first one, of course, we can see that we got a pattern over here when we were taking support around the level of 0.0001, which, well, it's quite a level. I've never seen something like that, right? We can see that we did make a bullish trend over here around this period. So you could have easily bought it over here. Now, consider the amount of gains, right? So if you were to buy at 0.0002, you could have easily gotten a few 100% of gains over here in such a small period of time, right? So 25 days, 700%, that's most definitely a lot of gains. Now, volume 2.49 billion, I believe that will be like not that much, of course, because we're talking cents, like literal decimals of cents, right? So that's a really small unit, and of course, that will have billions in volume. Of course, if we look at the volumes we had before, we can see that we got a volume of a few billion, right? 3 billion over here when the stock was trading at a fairly decent price of, Of course, it's not a decent price as compared to the entirety of the market, right? Market standards, but currently, looking at the stock's condition, that definitely was a decent price, and we might catapult back into that zone, in my opinion, because we can, of course, see that the stock is being, talked about again. Of course, I even made a video on that, or rather, I'm making a video on that, right? And I believe that other YouTubers will soon jump to this topic because I personally think that, of course, with the Wagyu partnership, this company will definitely be able to make something big. And once it does, well, that will be a sight to behold, right? Now, of course, as I've already told you countless times, market cap matters a lot for penny stocks, right? We're not talking about a short play over here. We're talking about a normal penny stock. And if the stock was to pump right now, you know, I can see it reaching at least a price 10x of this, right? Or 20x even. That's not a big deal, right? But what would be the market cap then? Like $1.3 million, $2.6 million. It's not a big deal in the, in this world, in this business world. It's not that big of a deal. And that, of course, again, is not financial advice, and you should always do your own research. But I personally, the way I would play this out is that if I'm looking at a high risk, high reward opportunity, I would, I've already told you guys the strategy in my previous penny stock analysis videos that if I were to, let's say, take up a stop loss over here of 25%, I would simply trade with 25% of my trading capital, right? And then I would let it run 100% over here, right? So I'll either take the full loss 100%, since that will only be 25%, the initial loss that I wanted to take. And of course, if it were to run up, it would still get me a crazy amount of gains, right? So if it, from like this amount, if it went to a 10x, that would still give me a 250% return. And that, of course, would account to about, now if we take that into 100% perspective, that would give us somewhere around 2.5x of our money. And yet we did not even put up our entire capital against the trade. So that is the way I personally used to trade these situations. Now, of course, quick disclosure, I do not own ICNM, right? If I did, that would be, well, of course, unethical as well as illegal. But then again, the choice is yours, right? I just found this stock really interesting and there was a lot of talk going on about it. That's why I thought that, hey, maybe I should let you guys know about this. It could be a good trading opportunity. And with that, let's move on into the 1 hour chart to see how dry the volumes really are. And now that we're in the charts, we can see that over here, for example, on 2nd December, the opening, we got 135 million in buying volume, and we haven't gotten any strong selling volumes ever since then. So this kind of gives me off an indication that people are buying up and they're not selling yet, right? They're buying up to hold for the future in case the stock actually does something big. Now, of course, we won't be able to label any, we won't be able to label any support or resistance levels as such because, well, it won't really matter in terms of penny stocks, but of course, we can see that pretty much every single movement is a support and resistance in itself. So you should probably mark them all on your chart, right? That would be the best course of action. And of course, today is a national holiday. Today is Boxing Day, so the markets are not open right now. But if we talk about tomorrow's performance, I do believe that we might get a good performance tomorrow, and the stock might actually go up a bit. So where will it go up? Well, that's again a difficult question to answer because in my opinion, considering all of this, the stock does not have a lot of trading volume, but it doesn't, it does have sort of investors kind of interested in it. So people are buying in it to kind of hold on for the long term and they're waiting for the volumes to come in. So, well, then again, I believe it's a pretty early stage for the stocks pump. And, pump, of course, is just a term over here. And in my opinion, all of these people holding right now, all of these people buying right now at these prices might benefit a lot in, let's say, 6 months or 7 months from now when the stock might actually pump. Of course, they'll be sitting at 300, 400, 500%, or even 1,000% gains, right? That's not very difficult to believe. And with that, of course, in order to prove my statement, or rather justify my statement that this stock does not have much trading volume as such, we'll jump on into our last, and that is, of course, the 5-minute chart. And now that we're in the 5-minute chart, of course, we can see that there are literally no volumes. We did get a volume spike over here with a few million shares at about 2.6, 2.676 million shares. And that, of course, would be not that much, like $2,000, I guess, right? Or even $200 maybe, right? I'm bad at math. I'm sorry for that. We can see that over here, for example, it pretty much looks like an algorithm was trading the stock to me, because we can see that we of course did not get many movements, and we do not even have the 5-minute chart. The volumes were like literally so dry that we don't even have enough data for that, right? So that of course is a, I won't say it's a bad sign, right? Because in the end, we're not in the stock to trade it altogether, right? The stock's main purpose is to act, is to act like a placeholder for your money, for the separate money, of course. And of course, if you get some good buying volume in here, and of course, as people talk about the stock more, they buy into this more, and Twitter gets a bit more action, right? Yahoo Finance, Investor Hub, all of these places, stock tweets, Facebook, YouTube, all of these places get more action about the stock, then I personally believe that yes, the stock might be the next 50x penny stock. But of course, with that in mind, I could be wrong. So remember that this most definitely is not financial advice, and you should always do your own research before you trade. If, however, you enjoyed my analysis, be sure to hit the like button. If you did not enjoy it, be sure to hit that dislike button. You can subscribe to our channel, Stocks 101, for more such videos. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.